All right, people. Today we're talking cap rate and we're talking NOI. I'm Oliver Perry. I'm Oliver Perry. This is the Oliver Perry Show. We're going from $0 to $625. I want you to take that ride with me. Let's hop into this topic real quick. Okay, so cap rate. What is cap rate? Cap rate is just a simple way of multifamily investors evaluating and comparing different offers, different deals, right? It's a very quick way to do it. Now, it's not an exact science by any means, but it is a very useful tool. Now, cap rate is made up of the NOI and the gross annual. It's made of the NOI is the net operating income. That is, sorry. So you're going to take the net operating income, and you get that by looking at the gross rent minus the annual expenses, right? And you're going to put that over top of on top with the NOI, and that's going to give you the cap rate. So I got to show you. It's a little bit harder for me to tell you as opposed to show you. So let me pull up my iPad here. Let's see. Boom. Okay. So let's take this handy dandy pen. There you go. So as you can see here, this is kind of what I'm talking about here, but I'll get into it. Hold up. Okay. NOI over cost equals cap. Okay, so very rudimentary and simple way of saying it and showing it, but that's really basically the gist of what NOI is. Cap rate is. You got the NOI, it sits over the cost, which equals the cap rate. Here's what the cool part about this is, and I'll show you because I wrote this down so you guys can see. The most useful part of it is here. If you see on that, the second and third line, it's a very cool way that you can kind of figure out a roundabout number on what you want to get as far as your cap rate or your expenses or your NOI, as long as you have two of the three numbers. So, for example, I'm going to show you in this easy example. We're going to go to LoopNet, and I've already got LoopNet pulled up. Okay, so you got LoopNet, right? So as you can see, LoopNet's got a couple options. So you got this particular property in 2818 Nueces Street, I guess that is. I don't know. Called Dos Rios Apartments. So you have the cost and you have the cap rate. So in this instance, we're going to go to the line that says cost. So you got the cost, right? And then you got the cap rate. So you're going to go cost times cap rate equals NOI. Now, here's what's key. If you look on that third line I've got that says higher the cap rate, the more risky, the lower cap rate, the less risky. Current national average is around 6 to 7%. So you're going to look at that cap rate. So let's do that real quick. As an easy example, we're going to take the cost. So on the site, the cost is $7,025,000. Right? $7,025,000, $250,000. $7,250,000. Now you're going to take that and you're going to multiply what's the cap rate that they give you. So they're giving you a 3.71% cap rate. You put that in a calculator and you hit the equal sign, and you're going to get $268,975 is what you can expect your NOI to be. Now, keep in mind, these are rough estimates because what's happening is you're only going to be able to take what they give you. You're not going to be able to take everything. So in this particular example, as you could see, let's shut this down here. Let's close this a bit. Here we go. So as you could see, they're only going to give you what they want to give you. This does not necessarily mean that this is the exact number. It doesn't mean it's the right number. It is just an estimation. It's basically you're getting a quick shot and quick look at something you want to go at or something you don't want to go at. So let's assume you say, okay, I want to deal with anything somewhere between 7 and lower, right? So if you do the calculation and a cap rate comes out to 9%, 10%, 15%, it's a quick way for you to say, okay, this one's not what I want to deal with. This is not something I want to play ball with, right? So it's a very quick synopsis to way to look at things. And it's kind of like in single family, we have something we call the 1% rule, 2% rule, 5% rule. These are all rule variations that are helped to make you do a quick evaluation on a property to see if it works for you or if it doesn't work for you. It can also, at least those can also be used when actually making full-on calculations, but it's easy to do this stuff if you have the exact number. Now, normally you won't get the exact numbers until you get things like the T12 and the expenses and the actual rate of occupancy and things of that nature. But when you're glancing through stuff, it makes it easier for you to go through things like LoopNet, and you can see all the options that are there. So you can see, so there's another one. And most of the time, at least so far that I've seen on LoopNet, they're all kind of broken down in that same fashion. Well, they'll have exactly a number that you're looking at for a cost, and then they give you some kind of cap rate, right? So as you can see, most of these have a cap rate somewhere around 7 and 8. So you got 7, 8. These are 3.7. Now notice this. See how the price is higher on the 3.7, and then when you go to something like the 8, it's lower, right? It's just because the higher the cap rate, like we said, the more risk. The lower the cap rate, the what was it? Yeah, the higher cap rate, more risky. I always do that. The higher the cap rate, more risky. The lower the cap rate, the safer it is. So it's basically like the best analogy I can give you is kind of buying a refurbished computer versus a brand new computer. It's more likely that a brand new computer percentage is going to be good for a longer period of time. It's a little bit more risky doing the refurbished computer, but it's not always as risky as you might think, right? So there's a lot of people who will buy in high cap rate properties and they turn them around. Some people are skilled at that. That's not currently my skill set. And for us who are beginners, that's probably not our skill set in general, but that's the whole reason why you get some people who have experience. But long story short, that is what the cap rate is, and that's what NOI is. So really simple, really clean, really easy. Do me a favor, check out the last episodes if you haven't been keeping up. And I'll leave this. Hold on. Let me pull this up so you guys can see this. And you can kind of take this note yourself. So, capitalization rate, NOI equals net operating income. Let me space these out for you so you can see it easier. There you go. Okay. Net operating income. Let's get that out the way. So you got a full picture so you guys can take a screenshot if you like. Boom. So, net operating income is the gross rent minus annual expenses. Then let's say you want to calculate cap rate. You can go NOI divided by the cost will equal a cap rate, or you can do cost times the cap rate equal NOI, or you can do NOI divided by the cap rate equals a cost. So this is all ways that you can go about executing this plan to figure out what those numbers are going to look like for you. Now, next time we're going to go into something else that will allow us to further narrow down what we're looking at. And we'll talk a little bit about value add and what that looks like and what that actually means. And it's not super complicated. It's really simple, but it is useful for you having a plan when you're going in so that when we reach out to these brokers, we know exactly what we're asking the brokers for. If we want a property that's value add, we want a certain cap rate. Hey, I want this cap rate versus that cap rate. Hey, this NOI looks funny. This makes you look, and not just makes you look, but shows that you are actually doing the work to figure out what you want, and you're being exact and precise when it comes to talking to some of these brokers. And that's kind of some of the things that brokers like to see, like we said before. So do me a favor. On this right side, you'll see up to 0 to 625 doors from day one. We're on day 13 now. And then on this side, you'll see all the interviews that I've done for the Oliver Perry Show. Go check those out. We got some great information from multifamily investors, single family investors, realtors, contractors, you name it. We've got quite a few folks in there that can help you grow and be great. So remember, you're better than you were, but you're not half as good as you're going to be. I'm Oliver Perry. I'm out of here. I'll see you soon.